Hello and welcome to Boxing News Flashback. My name's Matt Christie, and this time we go back to February the 14th, 1986, and gracing the front page this week was Errol Bomber Graham, who had just taken the European title to become Britain's sixth champion at that time, which was a record equalling achievement. And Graham, of course, such a gifted fighter, one of the first fighters to make the Ingle training camp quite so famous, and Graham would go down in history ultimately as perhaps the best British boxer never to win a world title. Some people would give that title to Kirkland Lang, but for me, Errol Graham, who lost 3 times in attempts for world titles, twice at middleweight, finally at super middleweight in a brave comeback when he lost to Charles Brewer, never did win that world title. Carrying on through though this week, was a good time for British boxing, without wishing to sound like some of my older colleagues. It was the good old days, wasn't it? You had the likes of Pat Cowdell coming back, Mark Kaler, and Chris Pyatt was taking on a boxer who I remember well, Prince Rodney. I was always very much impressed with that for a name of a boxer, and it also reminded me, of course, of Only Fools and Horses. Prince Rodney would lose to Chris Pyatt, though, in 9 rounds. Moving on, Barry McGuigan, top of the featherweight division, making the first defence of his WBA title against late substitute Danilo Carbira. And Boxing News, we have been accused in the past and in modern days of getting things wrong, and we thought this would be an absolute walk in the park for McGuigan. It wasn't at all. Carbira lasted until the 14th round, giving the Irishman all he could handle before succumbing in the penultimate round. Other people going on, Alexis Arguello, one of the greatest of all time. He came back and stunned Bill Costello, stopping him in the 4th round to prolong his career a little bit longer. And Marvin Johnson, light heavyweight champion, he beat Leslie Stewart to lift the vacant WBA title, and of course the light heavyweight division in minor chaos as a result of Michael Spinks moving up to heavyweight. I think that'll just about do it for this time. February the 14th, 1986. I'll see you next week for more Flashback.